Now, Leslie McCormick of the Farwell Group, author of Bank on Yourself, Why Every Woman Should Plan to Be Financially Single Even If She's Not, joins us. Good morning, Leslie.
Good morning, Marilyn, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. And what are we talking about today?
Today, I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of joint accounts with an adult child or other person. It's a very common conversation for us to have. Just this week, I was having a conversation with a widowed client of mine, Karen, about aging and financial management going forward. She is well capable of managing her banking and participating in the big picture financial planning, and Karen's doing a great job of it. We were more talking about what if in the future, if ever she started to get tired or started to miss bill payments or just in general wanted some help with the day-to-day finances, what options might be available. And it was in this conversation that she mentioned her thinking to make her son joint on her account, as he'd be the likely one helping her if she needed it. Karen thought since he and Karen's daughter would inherit the accounts anyway, this would make things easier. And so Karen and I ended up having the joint account talk. There are pros and cons to naming an adult child a joint account or joint asset owner. And the reasons why some people do so is just like Karen's thinking. Her son could then help her pay bills later if she needed. Other reasons people have include things like helping manage the money, so reinvesting GICs, conversing with advisors like us, or for estate reasons. People make this choice in order to save on probate costs and time. And finally, to leave remaining funds to that adult child after the parent's death. These all sound like reasonable reasons to name an adult child joint account owner. But there are some very significant downsides and the risks to joint ownership that really need to be considered before taking such a big step. Firstly, money in joint ownership becomes available to that joint owner's creditors, including in the event they experience a marital breakdown. They aren't just your dollars anymore. Joint ownership gives full access to the joint owner, meaning they could clear out an account. We never want to think someone would do that to us, but it does happen. It is a risk. Thirdly, it may leave your estate short of funds to cover your debts or taxes after death. These funds, by passing your estate, may not be available to your other beneficiaries. Administrative costs. It's important to keep very careful record keeping for income tax purposes. And finally, this is a big one. Many family fights have occurred over joint accounts. Instead of jumping into joint accounts, I made a suggestion to Karen that instead she consider the option of going to her bank and giving her son signing authority over her accounts. This way, if in the future she needs help, he would have the authority to assist her. And with her accounts with us, we're setting up both her son and her daughter as limited powers of attorney, again, so they can assist her with the accounts if ever needed. Karen's next steps with us are reviewing her estate plan, and in doing so, the topic of joint ownership will no doubt come up again. But this time, it won't just be us talking about the pros and cons of joint ownership. Part of that process will include her estate lawyer and her accountant to make sure we protect Karen during her lifetime and efficiently transfer her financial legacy to her son and daughter, hopefully well into the future.
So you don't know what you don't know. We've repeated that probably since the first time Darren Farwell and the Farwell Group joined this team of From a Woman's Perspective. And I guess your caution is a good one. You need to look at the pros and cons and then make a decision. And you don't have to make it right away. You can be enlightened by lawyers and accountants, as you say. If someone wants to talk to you about the pros and cons of joint accounts, how do we reach you, Leslie?
You can give us a call at 416-863-7501.
416-863-7501. Leslie McCormick, Darren Farwell, and the team of the Farwell Group. You can be sure that you'll have the right guidance if you ask your questions and you get your answers before you take action. Thank you, Leslie, for that valuable information. It does make everyone think about something that really we don't understand, joint accounts.
You're welcome, Marilyn.